Marli o Nahro, Leko o Zelat. Tell me, O river, where are you going? Do I go to the Euphrates, go to the Tigris, land of the rivers, soil of the ancestors?
Shlama. I welcome everybody following us here today. I would like to ask you a simple question. Imagine your son or your daughter was killed and the murderers are still roaming free. How many of you could rest and forget what happened? I guess none of you, right? Many years ago, I was fortunate to interview an Assyrian genocide survivor, Abdullah Goke, from Germany, who was 107 years old. Abdullah Goke told me women and girls were captured, men were killed. My younger brother was the most handsome boy, and they killed him in front of my mother's and my eyes. He continued, I quote, "But you know, I'm a Christian. I cannot hate, and hate does not help. But my big wish is those who did this crime against us could say, sorry. I want to hear this word. To hear this word would make me to continue the rest of my life in peace." You know what? Abdullah Goke died just 6 months after an interview without hearing the word he wished to hear. Still, until this day, Turkey governs by a president who says, we are Muslim, and Muslims cannot commit genocide. Turkey still denies the Armenian, Assyrian, and Greek genocide. How can we rest? How can we keep in silence? How can we let our past to be our children's future? In a very similar way, the Iraqi government planned and implemented the Simele massacre of 1933. The Iraqi government does still not recognize the Simele massacre. In a nutshell, they didn't just kill only one child, they killed more than 2 million people, and still they are not punished. They are free and they deny the crime they committed. Abdullah Goke didn't hear the story what he would to hear. Now, back to my question. Will you forget about all these atrocities, or will you hold them accountable for the crime they have committed and ask for justice? Yes, it is about justice, and we will ask for it. They wanted to wipe us out from history, but we will show them they were wrong. We will show them that we still exist by speaking our language, singing our songs, maintaining our culture and history. Yes, we will have our homeland in our mind and dreams. We will not let anybody to take our dreams away from us. Yes, we will continue to ask for justice. Thank you for your attention.
August 7th, also known Shavab Tabach in Assyrian, has been designated as a memorial day for the Assyrian martyrs. Although this observance is of a comparatively recent date, it has gained widespread acceptance among the Assyrian people. This is justly so. Every nation needs to have a day to set aside for the remembrance of those who gave their lives for the preservation of their culture and ethnic identity. This is especially important for the Assyrian nation. No other people have given so many martyrs to the defense of their nation and ethnic rights. Throughout our long history, each time an Assyrian man, woman, even a child stood up against their oppressors and refused to give up their religion, their language, or national existence, our nation as a whole was pulled one step back from the abyss of extinction. Yes, this is true, even if the immediate consequences of such actions were destruction and death. Our martyrs form the core of our history. They are the ones who bravely and selflessly defended our existence, even to the point of giving up their own lives, so that we could continuously have before us examples of self-sacrifice, which would serve to encourage us to preserve ourselves and our culture for our future generations. August 7th marks a significant national holiday among the Assyrian community worldwide. Originally commemorating the 1933 massacre of Assyrians in the Iraqi city of Simele, the day has evolved to honor all Assyrian martyrs thereafter. On this Assyrian Martyr Day and on every one to come, let us dedicate ourselves to the struggle of preservation of our culture, our language, and our national unity, in unity and in harmony with other Assyrians. Let us be worthy of the example of our martyrs. Let us honor their memory in this most suitable way by preserving the very ideas and values for which they died.
Hey everyone, this is Steve Kaiser. I'm a state representative for Legislative District 15 in North Phoenix, and I had the honor and privilege to work with the Assyrian community this past session on a proclamation that was read on the House floor, really highlighting the history and the massacres that have happened in the early part of the 20th century, even going into the later part of the 20th century. And so I just feel very honored to work with your community, and I look forward to working with your community again next session as we continue to just tell your story and make sure people know the story. It's really important in order to make sure this doesn't happen again in the future. And just a real honor to work with you, and can't wait to do more with you next year. Thank you.
1843, 1915, 1933, 1969, 2014. A gruesome list of massacres, an ongoing genocide against the Assyrian people. We say never again, but can we prevent again when even today there is outright denial of the Assyrian genocide? What power do we hold individually, collectively, in our hands? We can start by remembering. We mark days like August 7th, Shawwal Tabach, and take time to grieve for our Assyrian people murdered, lost, displaced, oppressed. We don't forget, and we won't let our children forget. We can enlighten ourselves about who we are, our past stories, the good and the bad, our similarities and the things that make us a rich, diverse nation. We gain an understanding of who we are today and what we want as a nation. We enlighten others around us about who Assyrians are, the wrongs that need righting, and the difficult journey of our people towards autonomy and empowerment. Finally, we thrive, we rebirth, we amass, we connect with our people around the world, and never forget the people back home still living on our indigenous lands. We defend their right to exist and support and celebrate their success. We shine a light on the struggles so that they are seen and heard around the world. We preserve our Assyrian language and culture now and for our children and future generations. We do something for our people and for our nation every day. With so many amazing and varied Assyrian volunteer organizations around the world, there's a way for everyone to help in so many small ways. Find your local organization and join in. This is how we will honor our Assyrian martyrs today and how we will continue to honor them every day.
Peace and love to all mankind. 106 years since the SEYFO Genocide and 88 years since the Somalia massacres, and we have not forgotten. How could we forget the suffering of those who fought for their survival to the bitter end and paid the ultimate price? How could you forget the agony and the fear in the eyes of mothers who failed to keep their household together? 106 years and 88 years, and we have not forgotten. How could we forget the cries of the children left to face life without parents? How could you forget those who fell by the sideway as they walked down death marches, had to be buried in pits covered with an upside down slab to prevent sabotage? 106 and 88 years, and we have not forgotten. Innocent sheep we were, surrounded by hungry wolves who never quenched their thirst for our blood. We refuse to cry, and we shall raise a glass of wine and drink to the upside down slab. We can still forgive those who killed us in cold blood, but we shall never forget. With my love and respect.
My name is Nancy Bartow, State Senator from Arizona. I'm proud to say the state of Arizona is a global leader for human rights and repudiates and recognizes crimes against humanity and stands against them. It is only fitting to remember the crimes from the Assyrian massacre earlier this century and to remember the victims who suffered greatly on this Assyrian Martyrs' Day, August 7th, 2021. Please accept our solidarity with you. God bless you.
The song is Hoden Hoshem Show, or Rising Sun. This is followed by Nahshem Show al Beth Nahrain, O sunrise over Beth Nahrain.
Hello, my name is Joseph Isavi, and I would like to join you in commemorating Assyrians' Martyrs' Day. This is a very solemn occasion in where we celebrate the lives that were shortened by mass genocides against our Assyrian Christian populations by the hands of different nations at the time, by the hands of the Ottoman Turks, and later on by the Iraqi government in the Simele massacres. And the number of different massacres and genocides perpetrated on our people are too numerous to mention over the last many centuries. One thing is for sure, as the children of those ancestors, we will never and we can never allow their memory to be forgotten. However, the perpetrators cannot deny that these genocides and massacres occurred, and the world is waking up slowly but surely to the atrocities that were perpetrated on our people. Their memory will never be forgotten. The children, the women, the men who will never be able to tell their story, who never saw their families thrive and live their life in the fullest because they were cut short in their prime. We remember them, we represent them, and I ask you, wherever you are in this world of ours, not to forget and to teach this to your children, and may we one day be able to say that not only their memory was never forgotten, but the perpetrators were brought to justice.
Dear brothers and sisters, on Assyrian Remembrance Day, we want to commemorate the victims of the genocide and the massacres that have befallen the Assyrian people. It has been chosen on the day of the Simele massacre, which has occurred on the 7th of August 1933. But it also entails the commemoration of the SEYFO, the genocide 1915, which has occurred under the Ottoman Empire, and the many other atrocities that are part of our history and, unfortunately, our presence as well. However, in the name of the Assyrian Youth Federation of Central Europe and as part of the successive generations of genocide survivors, I want to convey a message of hope today. Yes, the genocide is a dark and heavy chapter of our identity, a chapter that still haunts the Assyrian people as it has left an emotional mark on our collective identity. But it is not the only part that defines us. I refuse to believe that. The fact that over 100 years after the SEYFO, there are still Assyrian organizations, there are still Assyrian youth being active all over the world, working to preserve our cultural legacy, is proof of the resilience, proof of the strength and the will of our people. And we should focus on this strength. We should nurture them and learn from our past, the good and the bad. So I say to you again, Assyrian Remembrance Day is not only a day of commemoration, it is a reminder that it is our responsibility to work for a better future. For there's hope where the youth blossoms.
Howdy, this is State Representative Justin Wellman of LD15. That's the North Phoenix area. I just wanted to send out a message of support and faith and hope for Assyrian Genocide Remembrance Day. I stand against anything like that. I stand with the Assyrian people, wonderful people, and I will do everything I can for you and your group as a Arizona state legislator. Right now I'm up at Zion National Park in Utah on a bit of a vacation, but I thought you'd enjoy the view and my message as well. So God bless every single one of you, and I'm with you 100%.
Hello, my name is Maya Hanna, President of the Assyrian American Association of Massachusetts. As we remember the victims of the Simele massacre carried out by the Iraqi government against Assyrians in 1933, we ask you to believe in yourself as an individual and as an organization. Believe that your voice can make a difference. Speak up, because silence will only allow history to repeat itself. On behalf of the AAAM, we thank the SEYFO Center for being the voice for those victims. May they all rest in peace, and may you all have a bright future ahead of you. Thank you.
Aloha, I'm Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, currently serving my 4th term in the United States Congress. I'm offering to serve you as your president. I've served in Congress now for over 6 years on the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Armed Services Committee. I serve as a soldier in the Army National Guard now and served on 2 deployments to the Middle East. I know how important it is to recognize how much the Assyrian people have contributed to human civilization throughout history. I also know how important it is to recognize that more than 300,000 Assyrians lost their lives in the genocide of 1915, and approximately 6,000 Assyrians lost their lives in the massacre of 1933 in Iraq. These are crimes against humanity that must be recognized and condemned. Now, this year marks the 104th anniversary of the Armenian, Assyrian, and Greek genocide of 1915, which was committed by the Ottoman Turks. But Turkey still to this date has not recognized that genocide that took more than 2 million people's lives. Iraq still has not recognized the massacre of 1933. These atrocities must be recognized in order to bring about justice for these egregious crimes against humanity. It's important that we speak truth to power, not only because it's the right thing to do, but because in the long run it helps to further the cause of peace, stability, and the protection of human rights.
Hello, I'm Ron Susek, and I feel so honored to be invited by Sabri Atman and the SEYFO Center to share with you today about the genocide of 1915. What a horrible time that was, when 2/3 of the population, 2/3 of the nation of Assyria was massacred. Tens of thousands of Armenians and Greeks massacred, primarily because they were Christian. But some say, why look to the past? Let sleeping dogs lie. In fact, the empire, the Ottoman Empire that propagated this, is now asking, forget these things, don't speak about them. Well, listen carefully. Genocide is not a sleeping dog. It is a vicious, savage monster that is alive and well and advancing around the world to this day. It's moving in Africa. It's chewing on Europe. It's chewing on America. You saw it recently assault Christians and Yazidis and other peoples in Iraq when ISIS attacked them. It's a serious, deadly monster. It needs to be understood, recognized, and that's why we look to the past. Yes, We remember the sadness, the tragedy that many thousands of families carry in their hearts to this day, realizing what happened to their loved ones, raped, sold into sex slavery. May I be graphic for a moment? Women who were disgorged as they were cutting their babies out of them to kill them. This is the gruesomeness, the horrors of genocide. It's something we need to remember so that we know how to be alert in the present and guard it and fight against it. It's imperative that we do that. And so I want to commend Sabri Atman and the SEYFO Center and all the chapters around the world that are bringing this awareness to the world, that we may be ready for this hour and this day. I hope that you'll join us in prayer. Be people of prayer, that God will help these people who are trying to alert the world and awaken the world, governments and the church, and all people to be aware of this savage beast called genocide. And I hope that you will stand with Sabri and the SEYFO Center, encourage them, help them. This is a critical issue. And I trust that may God spare many lives because you became concerned and became involved as never before. God bless you.